Text 28. Text. Men who even didn't know that cunning man and cunning woman were once upon a time part of society, but in the 20th century, during the century, they were pushed out of the picture because they were no longer necessary, because everybody had the right to decide what he believed in, more or less had the right, in spite of the fact that the neighbors or the relatives or the acquaintances were still looking after each other's world picture and faith and behavior even. But as of now, from now onwards, it is pointless to insist on certain behaviors and certain manners of life, since this new administration that is coming to power in the US is changing the world toward the necessary or unnecessary direction, whichever it is for someone, where no one is sure anymore where the truth lies. Therefore, in a hell world like this one, the only way to understand the presence of truth is to reduce one's pain and torture, because goodness has to prevail. This is how you know that you are following the right path in eternity, which has already been presented to the viewers of this channel. Therefore, people who wish to live better lives, if they reduce their pain and torture that is inside the body, it is much easier for them to understand also what the Witch of Tartu is saying. Because whatever I am saying is not so usual for the common people here, not even for the specialists, because systemic knowledge of the world, scientia nova, is kind of unknown subject. Maybe someone somewhere knows a little bit, but it is unknown. But if we progress with our witchcraft journal, eventually you will get to know quite a few systems, what they look like, and maybe you can accommodate them in your life, because the Witch of Tartu will show you what they look like. For instance, if you wish to be free of pains and torture, not just suffering, because this is very common, you have to perceive the existence of goodness. Goodness is a system that leads one to purity. Purity is absent in impure world like this one. Therefore, the Witch of Tartu gives the viewers of this channel possibility to perceive goodness after the end of this article for 10 minutes now. And if you perceive this, you can repeatedly use this journal article to restart this perception experience and view it with friends. And also you need a little bit of healing concerning the pain and torture that has been in your life, because there is a lot of it. And then this darkness that remains within the goodness system, this is what you have to get rid of. This needs healing. This is the pain and torture that you can perceive. And each one of you has private experience. There is no common experience of this, because the amount of pain and torture is different for each one of you. And even if the world is changing right now, it will not change inevitably in the bad direction for those who reduce pain and suffering and therefore move toward goodness and purity. And then eternity adds you to its movement. Cunning man and cunning woman were once part of the church, but also the witches were part of the church. They didn't live in the forest. Usually the witches were church ministers. But the cunning man and the cunning woman was chasing usually the parishioners. So they had no idea that witches were usually leading the parish, and then stupidly enough, those who persecuted the witches persecuted the simple people only. And this is the downfall of cunning man and cunning woman system, and we don't need this system anymore. Away with it. Beginning of goodness perception now.